Hello, Aries. Thank you so much, you guys, for being here. Okay, Aries, so this time you have managed to be glad, self-love, and death. Managed to be glad is talking about being able to create happiness out of difficult situations. And it's also saying that you have the right to create your own happiness, giving yourself the things that, you've been longing for. But when you look at that with death, death talks about things that are falling away. And sometimes we experience things like leaving our lives and we're not expecting it. So some of you may be dealing with that right now. Others of you, it's finding it hard to be happy again after the ending of a situation. But self-love is the advice. This is the reminder that the most important relationship you will ever have is with yourself, right? So be kind to yourself. Take care of yourself. But if you love yourself, you will be honest with yourself with how you are feeling. And I say that because there's always this part of manage to be glad for me that kind of has this feeling of eat it and smile. That clearly that's not what the card is talking about. But it's like, I have to just put on a smile and deal with this. But then you forget to focus on you and what makes you happy. But overall, I think that this has to do with those of you who are going, yeah, I don't know if I can be happy again, or I don't know how to get back to that happiness. And the start is by, being good to yourself. You're overall the tower shit, yeah. So sudden drastic changes, and again with the tower, it's false foundation. It has to come down. You can't keep building on something that can't sustain itself. So this may be how you're handling this right now. For others of you, it's just drastic changes that are being made. In the past, the Nine of Swords, okay. And with the tower, at least it's coming to an end. Whatever you were dealing with in the past with the Nine of Swords, you're talking about regrets, overthinking things, allowing your fears to get the best of you. But this is, the mental garbage that's kind of going on. Now, for others of you, besides regrets and thinking back on how maybe things could have been different or you could have acted differently, this could also be, going back to your oracle cards, a situation where you're looking back at like past bad memories. And it may be because something in your current moment is kind of like triggering this. In your present moment, the Two of Swords, okay. So, my hands are tied. I don't really know what choice I have to make here in this situation. So for some of you, you may feel like whatever is going on with the tower, or whatever is falling away and collapsing, you don't have a part in, or you have no control over. But a difficult decision that I think some of you are having to look at now in the present moment. But your thoughts around it from the past coming through is just, it's like, it's not good, right? Like, it's not making you feel better. But this being tied to it, Okay, future conditions, the Ace of Wands. So here's the thing. Typically, we look at aces as a happy, perfect new beginning. But really, it's the opportunity to start another cycle. And that's up to you if it's for better or for worse. But for the Ace of Wands to come through and create the Tower, this is a really big moment for you. And it may be that you're realizing that the decision to restart this is not something that you want to do. And I say that because of the Nine of Swords being the past and the way that you're looking at this. But for others of you, this could be exactly what you've been waiting for. But I want to see what's going on here, because in the present moment, you're like not doing anything. You're not making that choice. For some of you, you may be getting ready to make that difficult choice. And whatever that is, it's creating, a new beginning, a new opportunity. So there's two ways to look at it. Okay. Your best path to follow, the Ace of Swords. I think that this is going to be accepting the truth when it comes to something that has been hurting you mentally. And again, the Nine of Swords coming through, but this is definitely a new beginning here that you absolutely can take advantage of, but it might require these kind of like drastic changes. Now, I look at this and I think, hey, let's be honest here. This isn't exactly the way you wanted your life to go. So it's like wiping it all out. Now, for others of you, this may have been completely out of your hands. This may be somebody who, was not willing to make a choice when it came to you. But with the Ace of Swords, right? Clarity, honesty, truth. In your environment, the Four of Swords. This is, besides recovery, this is where I'm not communicating anymore. I wonder if some of you aren't just like kind of shutting down. And I look at the Ace of Swords and I think, maybe it's time for you to speak it. But this is why a decision is not being made. Somebody is needing to recover. And for some of you, that's going to be you, especially with the Nine of Swords, but this could also be somebody not coming out and saying anything to you and leaving you in a place of, well, what the hell do I do? And I have to wonder if some of you just aren't tired of dealing with all of this, because when you do like step away and get some mental clarity, it's like this realization that this has to be done with starts to come to you. And then in future conditions, you have the beginning of a new cycle where you can do whatever you want with it. But if this is something that's returning from what you've already experienced, that may be where you're like, no, I'm not doing this cycle again. If I'm going to have a new beginning, I'm going to create it myself. Your hopes and your fears, the Eight of Coins or the Eight of Pentacles. The first thing I got from that was all the hard work that you've put into this situation, this relationship, it's all collapsing. So it's like, how much more am I going to have to do to either continue this or make the changes that you want to see happen? It kind of has a strength feel to it, but effort is required here. So, and I'm looking at a situation that you had goals and plans for, is what it feels like. And with the Tower, it's just no. And there's a lot of negative thinking coming back from the past, this unable to make a decision or not being able to see things clearly enough in order to do that. And some of you may be deciding, I need to just step away for a minute. And when you do, it's like, here's the truth. This has to go away now in order for there to be a new beginning for you, right? But again, with the Eight of Pentacles, the effort, the amount of effort that's been put through, is it wasted? That's what I feel like asking. And then coming out the Six of Wands, that's perfect. It's perfect. So what I want to say here is, whatever you are dealing with, that you have negative thoughts around, maybe taking a step back from it will give you the clarity that you need to be able to make a difficult choice to get rid of the things that aren't working in order for there to be a new cycle the way that you want it. And a lot of effort might be required, but the Six of Wands coming out, that's victory. And it's not only victory over the situation. It's recognition for having done the right thing. And I don't think that, certainly this isn't something that you want to draw attention to. If you're having a tower moment in your life, the last thing you want is a bunch of people onlooking. We want to work towards solutions here and start to rebuild things. And the opportunity is there. But with the Six of Wands, what I feel like here is you're going to get attention for making the right choices, but making the right choices for you out of clarity and understanding. Okay, the Knight of Cups. The Two of Coins. Again, the choice. And then the Page of Cups. And I like this because it feels kind of like a renewal. And I don't think that, emotionally you're going to allow this tower moment to affect you. Now, it feels a little bit sketch to me. When you're talking about the Nine of Cups with the Nine of Swords, the Knight of Cups, he's following where his heart is leading. But there's no emotional maturity there. So I wonder if this was a situation that you thought was something that you wanted to be a part of, like feeling it emotionally, especially if somebody is handing you an opportunity, an emotional, kind of connection, being the messenger of love. But with the Nine of Swords, no, this is almost like going back and regretting. I wish that I wouldn't have gotten carried away with my emotions on this situation. And that may be because of a person, right? Now, with the Two of Coins, this is constantly keeping this situation in place. So for some of you, this may be something that, again, I go back to death. It's like it needs to fall away. Because there is everything that you're managing, and then there's this thing. How can you integrate that into what you're dealing with day to day? And if you're not doing that, then you're just keeping it up in the air and constantly having to do this balancing act. And with the Tower, no. And I think that this is going to have to do with either you stepping away or somebody else stepping away. Communication being cut off, and it being an opportunity for you to do some recovering, especially mentally. But with the Two of Swords and the Two of Coins, it's like you're finally having to look at how you've been continuously letting this person, this situation play out in your life. And then with the Page of Cups, what I like here is that, especially if you are getting recognition for doing the right thing, this immediately is some communication that's going to come through that makes you feel good. It makes you feel something different. And not being, tainted by what went wrong here. And again, this isn't going to be for everybody. This is very specifically for those of you who are looking for happiness again out of a Tower moment. But you coming out on top. And, not in a Five of Swords way, but this feels really good. And then with the Ace of Wands being there, yeah. You're not going to repeat the same cycle that you've been through. This is an opportunity to be done with it and be rid of it. And if somebody has created this Tower moment for you, it was something that needed to happen. Assurance. I always smile when I see that one. Confidence. And then Earth. Interesting. So assurance is always the universe going, don't worry, it's going to be all right. Right? Like, I got your back. Something is going to come through that's going to assure you that these things need to happen in order for better things to come in for you. Confidence, being able to have the confidence to create what you want out of this Ace of Wands in your new beginning. And then Earth is saying, take some time to go sit outside. Spend some time in nature. It's so It seems so cliche saying that, but you would be surprised on how much you can clear out of your mind by just sitting and listening to what's going on outside around you. So this may be where you need to retreat to, right? Taking a walk, going on a hike, something like that. But either way, with the Six of Wands and everything that I'm seeing here, the choice that you make, I think in the long run, is going to make you happier than whatever is going on right now. Fogged in, go slow, take time. And again, right, like step back, take a break. If things aren't clear, just kind of give yourself a minute, especially with that Nine of Swords. And then you have 2 here, solitude and silence, peace prevails, and then rejuvenating rain, clear the past, heal the present. And then on the bottom here, you have passion and pleasure, savor your life. So yeah, if you're dealing with this Tower moment, everything's going to be okay. And if this is something that you didn't expect, I think there's still that reminder here that it needs to fall away so that something better can come through. You know, and again, self-love. Make sure that you're taking care of that relationship that you have with yourself.